So paragraph 4 talks about how this online business works. Alright, the digital process advice begins with client inputting an investment amount and answering a series of questions or his risk tolerance, investment objectives, investment time horizon, etc. Right? So this digital advisor then analyzes the client's responses, right, by using the algorithms and generates a recommended portfolio, right, all done automatically. If the client accepts the recommended portfolio, then the digital advisor may relay the client's trade orders directly to a brokerage firm for execution. Over time, due to market movements, the client's portfolio may deviate, all right, from the original recommended asset allocation. When this happens, the digital advisor will adjust the client's investments to maintain the target asset allocation. So this is what they call rebalancing, all right? So it's done automatically and performed periodically, all right? So and paragraph applies to you. Digital advisors operating in Singapore will have to be licensed for fund management, dealing in capital markets products, and providing financial advisory service under the relevant acts. The type of licensing depends on the operating model of the digital advisor, and the digital advisor may also qualify for exemption from licensing if it meets the relevant exemption provisions in the relevant acts. Alright, so further guidance on licensing consideration is set out in section 1 of this guideline. Alright, so this is something which is relatively new insofar as we are concerned. Alright, and the issue date for this one actually was 8 October 2018. Alright, so we are going to this robo-advisor business. Alright, then the definitions are there under paragraph 8. Right, it's pretty self-explanatory, so that's that. And paragraph 10, look at licensing requirements, right? Right, so take a look at that one in terms of how the licensing requirements and exemptions work. All right, and that's paragraph 11, 12, 13, and 14. Right, and then 15 as well. Okay. All right. Now then the next page talks about digital advisors operating as financial advisors. All right. Talk about licensing exemption for dealing in capital markets products. There are specified products under the OTC derivatives contracts. All right. So if the digital advisors operate as a financial advisor for the products listed there, then you are governed by paragraph 16 to 18. All right. So this is for FAs to take note, the financial advisor, right, that want to operate as a digital advisor, right? Okay. So yeah. So I do not want to go into these details. So these are the application requirements, right? Now then, if you look at paragraph 19. Digital advisors operating as financial advisors, licensing exemption for fund management. All right, so there are licensing exemption for capital markets products. There are specified products other than the OTC derivative market. And here, paragraph 19 talk about licensing exemption for fund management. All right, it goes all the way from paragraph 19 to paragraph 22. All right. So here we are talking about digital advisors and conventional financial advisors, all right? Now then, if you look at paragraph 23, it talks about digital advisors operating as fund managers, all right? So their track record and minimum assets under management requirements under the fund management category, all right? Now just to backtrack, the first one, paragraph 16 to 18, pertains to dealing in capital markets products that are specified products other than OTC derivatives. Paragraph 19 to 22 talks about licensing exemption for fund management. And here paragraph 23 all the way to 25, right, we are talking about fund management. All right, so those are the licensing requirements, right? All right, so the details are there. So those are the licensing requirements, right? or the exemption under the different types of products. Now then, section 2, very quickly, we look at other regulatory requirements applicable to digital advisors, right? So that comes under paragraph 26, all right, where they highlighted some of the requirements. And again, it's not intended to be comprehensive or exhaustive. These are just examples, right? Now just take a look at 27, which is the requirements. Client-facing tools are primarily algorithm-driven. A fault or bias in the algorithm could adversely affect a large number or all of the digital advisors' clients who rely on the recommendations generated by this algorithm, right? So considering this additional risk using the digital advisor platform, it's important that digital advisors put in place adequate governance and supervisory arrangements to effectively mitigate this risk. All right? Our expectations on the governance and supervision of algorithms are set out below. Right? So they give you the the guideline on that one. Right? So paragraph 28 talks about the governance and supervision of algorithm that you may need to know something about. Right? So the board and the senior management, right, of the digital advisor must maintain oversight and governance of the client-facing tools. All right? Given the potential detriment of a large number of clients arising from any fault or bias in the algorithms due to oversight or poor design or whatever reason. All right? So the board and senior management should ensure that there are sufficient resources to monitor and supervise the performance of the algorithms. All right? So the digital advisor should be adequately staffed. All right, suitably staffed with the required resources. All right, so staffing is important. People who have competency and expertise, all right, to develop and review the technology of the algorithms. All right, adequate training should be provided to all staff, all right, who use the client-facing tools. All right. All right. Similarly, the board and senior management should put in place systems and processes, right, and controls to ensure a sound risk management culture and environment in their companies, right, complying with all the rules and the regulations and the laws, right, including 29A to D, right. Approve the design and methodology development of these client-facing tools, proper maintenance, right, policies and procedures, management oversight, unauthorized access, security, and all the technology risk management that we have talked about in terms of running this kind of digital business. Right, 30 is quite clear what the board and senior management may delegate the day-to-day operational oversight governance of the client-facing tools to other people, that they employ, other personnel. They remain ultimately responsible and accountable, right, for the proper development, monitoring, and testing and operation of these client-facing tools. Right. Then they give you some guideline. This particular guideline give you further materials in relation to developing client-facing tool. All right, and then paragraph 32, monitor and testing of the client-facing tool. Right, that is important from 32 to paragraph 37. All right, as we know, this is all digital, right? So technology risk management is important. All right, the risk management is important in terms of what we have discussed earlier. All right, in terms of cyber hygiene, in terms of risk management, technology risk management under FAA N18, which we have discussed. All right. And if there's any gap, of course, between the requirements in the notice, FAA number 18 and CMG number 2, then the board and the senior management must address these gaps and close these gaps, right? So, then of course 36 talk about money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism. All right, so digital or digital advisors also must take note of this. All right, adequate procedures to mitigate money laundering and terrorism financing under the relevant act and the notice FA number 6. All right, or the countering financing of terrorism under SFA 04 number 2. All right, and because all these are non-face-to-face, it's digital. So you need to additional checks, right, to manage the risk of impersonation. You need to verify the clients that come onto the net, right? Right, and then of course in paragraph 38 talks about disclosure of pertinent information. Again, the same issue, clear, plain English, simple, so that the clients, the internet clients, can understand what you have put up there. Right, then information on algorithm, conflict of interest, and risk warning, suitability advice. All these are covered, all right, from paragraph 39 all the way through to paragraph 45. Right, so a lot of detailed guidelines there. Right, and then of course in paragraph 46, there are some exceptions to collecting full information under paragraph 11 of FAA number 16, right? So this is again the issue of undue influence or active solicitation on the investment account during the fully automatic advisory process. Of course, this is lower, much lower compared to when they're dealing with the conventional financial advisors, right? So clients who utilize the services of digital advisors are typically self-directed and have discretion on the amount they wish to invest. However, for the avoidance of doubt, fully automatic digital advisors refer to digital advisor with no human advisor or human intervention underlying in the entire advisory process. All right, if that be the case, then less crucial, right, for fully automatic digital advisors to collect the information set out in limb C to I of paragraph 11 of AA number 16. If you refer back to FA number 16, that will be the collecting of information, right? So 47 gives you a further outline on this one, further guidance on this one. In view of the above, fully automatic digital advisors are not required to collect full information on a client's financial circumstances as prescribed under the FA number 16, right? So these are the FA number 16 exception. All right, so there are some exceptions given under paragraph 47 of that particular guideline, provided that all of the following are met. Now, all is highlighted and underlined in bold. All right. All right. So, if you do not want to collect full information, you must ensure that A, B, C, D, E are fully complied with. All right. I just read quickly to you. The advice is fully automatic with no human advisor intervention in the whole process. All right, if there are any human intervention, they are limited to providing technical assistance to clients, such as assessing clients on IT-related issues or clarifying with clients on the responses when inconsistencies are noted. Right. B, there are inbuilt knockout or threshold questions to effectively identify and eliminate unsuitable clients. Right. Example, clients who cannot afford to lose their principal investment sum. So knockout. Right. You can't cross the threshold. Well, end of story. Right. C, that there are controls in place to identify and follow up on inconsistent responses provided by clients. All right, because it's self-directed, it's fully automated, the client may give inconsistent answers. All right, so to identify and follow up. D, a risk disclosure statement is provided to clients to alert them that the recommendation does not take into consideration that the financial circumstances to the point when the recommendations are provided to them via the robo-advisor, via the digital advisor. All right, the advice is limited to CIS that are in substance EIPs, excluded investment products. All right, so those are the safeguards that you need to put in. All right, if you do not want to collect full information, meaning the fact-find process, you don't want to follow and collect full information, then all those A, B, C, D, E must be met. Okay. So there's a reference always to FAA number 16, so go back to that one. All right, and must take reasonable steps to collect clients' information, right, in order to satisfy the risk tolerance levels, etc., under the conventional system. Alright, then paragraph 49 to 50 talks about assessing clients' knowledge and experience. Right? So the same applies regardless whether it's self-directed or not. These are set out again in the FAA number 16 and SFA 04 number 12. Okay. Okay. Right. So 50 talks about the customer account review and the customer knowledge assessment in relation to the different types of products that we have talked about earlier. And then paragraph 15, the BSC framework, the Balanced Scorecard framework, only applicable to FAs and representatives that provide recommendation or advice directly to clients. Alright, so digital advisors operate without any representatives' advice. Alright, therefore are not subject to the BSC requirements. Right? And then look at 52 as well. Persons who are appointed to design the algorithm or to review the suitability of recommendation generated by the client-facing tools, but who do not provide recommendation or advice directly to the clients, are also not subject, to the BSC framework. Right? And then digital advisors can refer to the FX. This is we have talked about the BSC framework at some length. Alright, and I've noted that the BSC framework is voluminous, both on the notice and both on the guidelines. Alright, so then there's something there about advertisement and marketing in terms of these digital advisors. Right, so similar issues. Right, advertisement should be fair and balanced, clear and eligible. Right. Again, similar reasoning follow. If the digital advisors disclose projected returns, right, targets and so forth, they should highlight the probability of losses, right, so as to provide a fair and balanced view. If past performance is disclosed, digital advisors should highlight visibly in writing to clients that past performance is not necessarily indicative of future performance. The same logic in the conventional financial advisor. Right? So digital advisors may advertise the financial advisory service generally. However, given that digital advisors need to give due consideration to a client's investment objectives, financial situation, and particular needs where relevant, before recommending any model portfolio, digital advisors should not advertise specific model portfolios that they may recommend or provide on the digital platform. So again, there's this particular safeguard in terms of advice to clients, right? So those are some of the things relating to digital advisors. And in the Annex A there, you will see the licensing considerations for digital advisors, right? Right. Then you got an Appendix 11E, guidelines on standards of conduct for marketing and distribution activities by financial institutions. Now, this is in relation to the financial institution conducting their marketing and distribution activities at retailers and public places. Right. So, as you know, some of the financial institutions, they do run roadshows and tie-ups with retailers. All right, in MRT station and supermarkets or the shopping malls. All right, so this gives rise to issues which is noted in paragraph 2A, B, and all the way to E. All right, I just read the heading to you: harassment of customers. All right, so people keep on harassing customers as they go into the supermarket or the malls or the MRT stations. All right, so there's this increased risk of product not being suitable. So that's one. Unconducive environment for purchase of financial products. All right, because of high traffic, passenger traffic or foot traffic. All right, people walk up and down in the MRT stations or interchanges, supermarket chains, right, and the like. So it may not be a suitable place to conduct sales and advisory sessions. Then there could be some confusion over the identities and roles of the financial institution and its representatives. All right, so in terms of how are the representatives being paid, are they representing the financial institutions, or are they representing the retailer? Are they representing any other person, right? So there may be confusion over the identity of the institution and the representatives, right? Because the marketing process is not conducted in the premises of the financial institution, right? So it may not be very obvious to the customers that, hey, you may be representing a supermarket chain or electrical product chain or a furniture chain or whatever, right? So enticement of customers to purchase unsuitable products, especially as some of you may know, they entice you with gifts, they give you whatever gifts and entice you to come in and talk to us, and then at the end of the day, free gifts and tie-ups and that kind of stuff. All right, so there could be undue influence there and some coercion there as well, in more or less in inverted commas, forcing clients to buy a certain product, pressure selling, as it were, right? And the last point, of course, mishandling of cash and checks collected. So there is a possibility when clients pay cash or give you a check, and there could be losses of money, cash money, and checks. All right. So in particular, this particular guideline, as FSG GO2, right, provides the guideline on the standards of conduct, right, in terms of the marketing risks when financial institutions send their people to supermarkets and MRT stations and so forth to solicit sales. All right, so paragraph 4 talks about board and senior management being accountable and responsible if there are no proper controls in place, all right, for the financial institutions' marketing and distributing activities. All right, paragraph 5 talk about principles based. All right, so it's based on principles, and it's not prescriptive. The authority doesn't tell you what to do. All right, they say this is based on the principles of each safeguard. All right, so that's that. Well, the definition is there on that page, and then now we look at one. Now, very quickly, I just run you through this one. The MAS expects the board and senior management of financial institutions to set the right tone, the right culture in conducting marketing and distribution activities to customers. All right, in a responsible, in an ethical, in a professional manner. All right, so MAS put the board and the senior management accountable. All right, when they do marketing in the outside the premises. All right. That's to put it very briefly, outside the premises, right? MRT stations, supermarket chains, shopping centers, malls, and that kind of stuff, right? Now, so this is generally, we call it market conduct risk, all right? Market conduct risk. And all these market conduct risks, they need to mitigate, all right? So that customers are not harassed, so that they have a conducive environment, so that no confusion over the identity and roles of the representative, not be enticed and in a way pressured to buy products which may not be suitable, and mishandling of cash and checks, right? So altogether, this guideline provide 12 safeguards, all right? All right, so I do not propose to go into each and every safeguard. It is given to you in the text. All right, safeguard 1, there is a big box there that talk about callbacks or surveys for all customers prospected at retailers and public places before or within the free look or cooling off period to ensure that the customers understood their purchases closed at such locations. All right, if deals are closed at such locations, then there must be provision for callback or survey. All right, the financial institutions are expected to implement this safeguard for the sale of life insurance policies, accident and health policies, and collective investment schemes. All right, the footnote at the bottom there below says that some of these simple life policies as ancillary product, single payment basis for insurance cover, such as, for example, policies that cover outstanding loans in relation to personal loans, car loans, or credit card, this may not need to do the callback or the survey, all right? But it excludes mortgage reducing term assurance plans. All right, so detailed guidelines are given to you in terms of safeguard number 1. All right, and then it all the way from 2.13 to 2.18. All right, in terms of these callbacks and surveys. Now then there's a safeguard 2, all right, and you can look at safeguard 2, paragraph 2.19 to 2.112. Right, that's safeguard 2. In other words, a financial institution should conduct regular mystery shopping and site visits to monitor and ensure that the marketing, sales, and advisory practices of the representatives at retailers and public places are conducted in line with the internal standards and procedures, as well as the guidelines on standards of conduct for marketing and distribution activities. All right, so therefore there's need for the financial institution to send out people to do mystery shopping and site visits to make sure that the representatives at the retailers and the public places conduct themselves in accordance with the internal policies, guidelines, and of the financial institution itself and of the guidelines given by the MAS. All right, let's cover 2.19 to 2.112. All right, now there's safeguard number 3, where financial institutions should separately track and monitor complaints arising from the marketing, sales, and advisory activities at retailers and public places. All right, complaint statistics should also be reported to senior management at a regular basis. All right, so that is a need to feedback complaints to the top management, right? And that is in under paragraph 2.13 to 2.15, right? Then safeguard 4, financial institutions should maintain a register containing information on the marketing and distribution arrangements at retailers and publishers. So safeguard 4 is a register, all right? It's covered there. Then safeguard 5, right? All times, make sure that you conduct yourselves properly in a professional manner. All right, safeguard 5 says that these people must not cause annoyance by being unreasonable, persistent, by placing undue pressure on members of the public to purchase any financial product or service. All right, and then there's safeguard 6. All right, directly discuss upfront identity and the financial institutions they represent when they prospect customers. All right. So if there are any tie-ups, right, that should make sure that these are clearly disclosed to customers, or any tie-up between the financial institution and the retailer, and clearly explain each party's roles and responsibility, right? So that's provided for in paragraph 2.25 to 2.28. Right, then moving quickly, there's a safeguard 7 about training. A proper training given to the people who are doing these activities at the retailers and the public places. Then safeguard 8, to ensure that the representatives conduct themselves well, good compliance record. Right? And then safeguard 9, talk about the remuneration and incentives paid to the representatives. So that they do not lead to aggressive sales tactics and other inappropriate conduct. All right, so this again has some issue with the balanced scorecard framework. All right, in terms of not encouraging the people at the retailers and public places, right, to pressure sell the products in inappropriate sales tactics, right, product pushing, misrepresentation, and stuff like that. Right. Then there's a safeguard 10. Any gift offered to customers does not unduly influence the decision of the customers to purchase any financial product. All right, the details of these gifts, ensure that details of these gifts are not displayed or promoted in such a manner as to